our sinful condition. We have a problem. Now, in the passage, it says, agree with your adversary quickly. It doesn't leave room here for the idea that the one with whom we has been designated as our adversary, that his perspective about us is questionable. In fact, it is not even a perspective. It is the fact. We are sinners, dead in sin and trespasses, and he is our adversary until we recognize that fact. If we do not recognize that we are sinners before the thrice holy God, if we do not recognize that we have offended the holy God, the creator of all things, then we have chosen to remain his adversary. And there is nowhere you can go to avoid the penalty of this adversary. Agree with your adversary quickly. Agree with your adversary quickly. He is saying this: sinners, you are wrong. You have miscalculated your value and your worth. You are worthless. We are all worthless. We have all become altogether depraved. So much so that we can never desire Christ or holy things while we are in this sinful flesh, not without coming to terms with our adversary. Our adversary, the Lord Jesus Christ. It is a hopeless battle to be engaged in a conflict with Christ. It's a worthless battle. And the problem is that people refuse to recognize that they are sinners. And so when we speak, they can't hear. So they ask stupid questions like, why do Christians talk like this? Because we tell the truth. We tell the truth. Unbelievers, sinful creatures, cannot hear the truth unless God opens up their ears to hear. They can't hear it. It sounds foreign to them. It's like going to another country to be around people on vacation and none of them speak your language and you don't speak theirs. You don't understand their language, they don't understand yours. It sounds crazy. And most people's view of other people's languages when they never heard them before is that it sounds funny. It sounds weird, it sounds awkward. So they can't hear. Some people are enemies of the Lord Jesus Christ and they have no idea who he is. Some people have been his enemy and they have never heard the gospel, not once. But the fact remains. God is under no obligation to share with you the truth. It is an act of mercy, an act of sovereign grace for you to benefit from hearing the gospel. It is a privilege, not a right. To hear the gospel is a privilege, not a right. If God never opens your ears to hear the gospel, as so many people will discover, they will never hear. And yet, God is just still. He is never unfair. nor is he under any obligation to be fair. Grace is the reason that we're saved by grace. Grace itself implies a lack of equity, the way humans see fairness and equity. God imposes grace because if he was fair and if he was going to be just apart from grace, all men would be condemned. But this day that we live in right now is a day of grace. It is an opportunity, as Jesus said in Matthew 5, verse 25. It is an opportunity to agree with your adversary quickly, right now. Quickly, right now. Stave off hesitation. Reject procrastination. Don't wait until you assess and develop an estimation. You must look to Christ now and be saved by faith. It is not complicated. It's not complicated. You start by agreeing with your adversary. Your adversary is the Lord Jesus Christ. What do you need to agree with? What he says about you. You and I are sinners. Do you believe that? And if you do believe that you are a sinner, as he has told us we all are, then there's nothing left to do but to bow to him immediately in humility and embrace him. Listen to the grace that pours from his lips. Listen to him who says that if you believe, he will make you more than a conqueror. This is the Lord I know. He's King, the King of glory. He tells you that we are sinners, lost and without hope in this world, unless we can agree with him that we are sinners. If you agree, and you agree with him, you must do so immediately, quickly, now. Why? Because time is running out. Now, people are always saying, well, it's been 2,000 years. And they consider this slackness. They consider this an unusual delay. If God were going to come back, if Jesus were going to come back, why